So anyone who knows me knows that I actually really hate dice games. The truth is, I really hate dice games where the die rolling mechanic indicates whether or not you get to take your turn. So for certain games, sometimes this happens in like miniatures games where I'm trying to roll a dice just to hit my opponent and I roll low. So nothing happens, which is really rather frustrating. Like if I'm trying to tactically maneuver my dudes, or if I'm trying to do something interesting or be thoughtful in my actions, and then the dice just go, nope. That's the kind of thing I'm never a big fan of. In XCOM, which is the game that we have here, that sort of thing can kind of happen, but its mitigation mechanics are far superior in my opinion, and it ends up being one of my favorite games. One of my favorite dice games, actually. Or the dice are a very important mechanic in this game. They're the prevailing mechanic, actually. So in XCOM, there are 4 roles. There's the squad leader, the commander, the central officer, and the chief scientist. The squad leader deals with sending out his guys on mission and also defending the base. The commander deals with the money, he deals with the panic levels, and deals with crisis cards. The central officer deals with the app. This game runs on an app with a timer and everything. And he's the one that deploys the UFOs and deals with the satellites and a handful of other small things. Then the chief scientist is the one that deals with researching technology. And the technology deck is actually quite extensive. It's got a lot of different things in here that affect all 4 roles in some way, and they're color-coded. So there's a green one for the squad leader, yellow for the commander, orange for the central officer, and then a blue one that helps out the scientists themselves. And these are kind of the way that the dice get mitigated. In any normal game, the dice mitigation tactic is usually add more dice. That is to say, you know, if I need to hit a 7 on the dice, it's easier if I'm rolling 3 dice as opposed to 2 dice. In this one, there are dice 6s that only have 2, there's 1, and there's the other, success symbols on them. These aren't pipped dice. So the mechanic can't be, you know, roll a 5 or a 6 for a success and then have mitigation be roll a 4, 5, or 6, or a 3, 4, 5, 6, or something like that. It's just, did you get a success or not? And so in this game, you still have that roll more dice means you have a better chance, but it also comes with this die 8. And this die 8 is another very, very press your luck kind of element to the entire dice rolling mechanic. You're supposed to roll this die 8 with every single dice that you do roll to get your successes. Sometimes you're rolling 3, sometimes you're rolling only 2. Sometimes if you're not really that serious about getting a success, you'll only roll 1, but you roll the die 8 with it. This little tracker down here is the threat level. If I roll once, well, I got a success that time, but if I didn't get a success and I got what I rolled on here is a 4, this goes up, and it no longer is on a 1, it's now on a 2. What that means is now on a 1 or a 2, on this little red die 8, I lost. Now I can still get successes, but the guys that I put in there to get those successes probably died or became exhausted in some way, or they're unavailable for the next round. So that is a very interesting and different way to deal with loss, as opposed to just straight up not getting a facing on the dice. But let's go back to the scientist, because this is the big way that there is a lot of mitigation. When I research certain technologies, I can do things like this blaster launcher. This is just a piece of technology for the squad leader, and it says, when I exhaust this, so when we go through the rounds and it's time for them to take their turn, they can exhaust this card to just place 1 success on an enemy that has a heavy assigned to it, a heavy being one of these particular miniatures. So I don't have to roll dice. If all I need is 1, or I need 1 more, then all I need is just the 1 card. And the fact that we are trying not to roll dice is my favorite dice mechanic. So I guess you could say my favorite dice mechanic is not rolling dice, but that's what I love about XCOM so much is they don't deal with pips and they deal with trying to get me to roll less dice in a more tactical way as opposed to just rolling gobs of dice and hoping for the best. And thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw and you want to see the rest of our videos, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell icon as well so that you can get alerted to our next video.